Then came the day of unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed.
When the hour came, Jesus and his apostles reclined at the table. And he said to them,
Wie sehr habe ich mich danach gesehnt, mit euch dieses Passamahl zu essen, bevor ich leiden musste.
For I tell you, I will not eat it again until it finds fulfillment in the kingdom of God.
After taking the cup, he gave thanks and said, "Take this and divide it among you.
For I tell you, I will not drink again from the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes."
And he took bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to them, saying,
"This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me."
In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup, saying,
This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you.
Jesus went out as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him.
On reaching the place, he said to them, "Pray that you will not fall into temptation."
He withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down, and prayed.
When he rose from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep, exhausted from sorrow.
"Why are you sleeping?" he asked them. "Get up and pray so that you will not fall into temptation."
While he was still speaking, a crowd came up.
And the man who was called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them.
Then seizing him, they led him away and took him into the house of the high priest.
At daybreak, the council of the elders of the people, both chief priests and the teachers of the law, met together, and Jesus was led before them.
"If you're the Messiah," they said, "tell us."
Jesus answered, "If I tell you, you will not believe me. And if I asked you, you would not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the mighty God."
Then the whole assembly rose and led him off to Pilate.
So Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?"
"You have said so," Jesus replied.
Then Pilate announced to the chief priests and the crowd,
"I find no basis for a charge against this man."
You brought me this man as one who was inciting the people to rebellion.
I have examined him in your presence and have found no basis for your charges against him.
But the whole crowd shouted,
"Away with this man! Release Barabbas to us!"
Wanting to release Jesus, Pilate appealed to them again, but they kept shouting,
"Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Ans Kreuz mit ihm.
"Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucifícalo! Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Crucify him!"
For a third time he spoke to them. "Why? What crime has this man committed?"
I found in him no grounds for the death penalty.
And their shouts prevailed.
When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd.
"I am innocent of this man's blood."
Finally, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified.
So the soldiers took charge of Jesus. Carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull.
And there they crucified him.
There they offered Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall.
but after tasting it, he refused to drink it.
Above his head, they placed the written charge against him.
"This is Jesus, the King of the Jews."
From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land.
About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice,
My God, why have you forsaken me?"
And when Jesus had cried out in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit.
At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open.
The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people.
When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely he was the Son of God."
As evening approached, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph,
who had himself become a disciple of Jesus.
Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in his own new tomb that he had cut out of the rock.
He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away.